Good morning, everyone. We're here in Boston Hill, in Silver City, New Mexico. Beautiful place. Now, I was here yesterday and I really loved the trail. So when I woke up this morning, I decided to come here for coffee. So last night we camped at the Cedar of Rock State Parks. We packed up our tent this morning and decided to come up here to enjoy our coffee with this beautiful view. All right, guys, let's get this show started. All right, guys, we're on Horse Mountain Scenic Viewpoint here in the Gila Wilderness or National Forest. And guys, this is absolute boondocking heaven. We're looking at dozens of sites just from where I'm standing here. Very beautiful area, very secluded, so you don't have a lot of people because you're in a wilderness area. And there are a bunch of campsites that I would love to camp at eventually. But this is just so peaceful, so beautiful, and so quiet. And the views are just absolutely spectacular. Now, there was one campsite that I really liked a lot, and it's this one right here. I mean, look at the view. Wow. And like we said last time in the last episode, there are multiple wilderness areas around here. So you have the Gila Wilderness, and then you have the Aldo Leopold Wilderness. So this sign here was a quote by Aldo Leopold, who's a very big name in conservation and in wilderness areas. We also have the Ben V. Lilly Memorial here, who's actually a guy from Alabama who came here and lived by himself. And you also have the beautiful Lake Roberts, which is also in this area if you're interested in getting in the water. All right, guys, we're on the Cliff Dweller Trail, and it was a 1 mile trail. Beautiful hike getting up here. Look at the beautiful view of the canyon, and then of course we have the biggest attraction here in this area, which is the Gila Cliff Dwellings, and that's the main reason we came here. So let's check it out. Wow, this one is very elaborate and goes in. So that's a lot of living spaces, I would think, in there.
Yeah.
And that we can go up the ladder?
Yeah, sure thing. You really get a sense of the size of these caves when you walk in here, and also the amount of soot on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
This would have
Thousands
been
of years, people. Thousands of years of history here. Wow. It goes on like this for a while. Okay, wow, this is fantastic. So people lived here for thousands of years. And then the Mogollon people, Mogollon came here and built these structures. And they used a lot of ladders to get up on them. I mean, this is amazing. This cave especially, the third cave, the cave 3 or 4 and 4. So you have ladders you go on. And it's just wild. It's a whole community that lived here. Let me tell you guys, this is just amazing. Wow, look at that. This is just fantastic. Absolutely amazing. So let me come down so I don't fall here. Wow. Guys, it's like a city inside the cave. That's over 1,000 years old, and that's just the Mogollon. And these holes you're looking at right here, that's where the wood goes in, and then they put the roof. Yep, that's how the roof is put. Unbelievable. End of trail, return to... Okay, and look at the view here, guys. And this is their home. This is their home. And sometimes you see a little bit of a color there in the middle of the screen. So I think they had a lot of petroglyphs here. But the stone is not very good, so it kind of goes away over time. So I think they have a lot of pictographs here. So the Mogollon people who lived here, and there were other people who lived here for thousands of years before them, as you can see by the smoke. So 1,000 years ago, the Mogollon came here. And then later, the Apache, or Chiricahua Apache, came here, and that's Geronimo's group. So my assumption is Geronimo has probably been around this area. And there's a water source down there in the canyon. Again, it goes down all the way to the Gila River. So they have a spring, so it's spring fed. So they had water, they had shelter. That's why they were here. Wow. Welcome to New Mexico. Wow. Okay, so those are corn cobs. That's where they use their storage. That's where they put their storage. And this corn is, I don't know, 800 years old or something, and it's still preserved. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. Okay, so this is the Mogollon people. Wow. Okay, this one is a little tough to see, so you gotta lean a little bit. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna hold this so I don't lose it. So this one is right on the edge. Where is it? Right there. There it is. In the center of the screen. Some kind of figure of some sort. I don't know what that is, but wow. Okay. This is really neat. I guess there used to be a lot of them here, and over time they kind of just went away. Wow, this is a very neat spot. Okay, so if you look carefully, you see a petroglyph over there, and it's red. Right there. You see it? There it is. There it is right there. All right, guys, we just left the main Mogollon Mimbres Cliff Dwellings, and we're making our way down. And now the trail that gets you down is different from the one you take when you go up. And it's my understanding there are some pictographs here somewhere along these walls, so I'm gotta be looking for them. Hopefully we'll find them. Yep, so we're still in Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument, and this is a neat spot because they have the old pictographs. Look at them. Do you see them in there on the wall? So apparently that paint they use is actually black, but over time it oxidizes and turns red. Oh wow, look at this one. Look at this. Make some the most elaborate one is right up there. Oh, look at that one. Look at this one. And more there. And that one is the most elaborate up there. Oh, there's still, oh, there's more up there. Okay, I didn't see all those. There, nothing. Wow, okay. This is really neat. This is a pretty fantastic area. You could spend days in here just exploring the wilderness, seeing stuff like this. I don't. Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument. Wow, really worth a trip. Really worth a trip. Alright guys, well, it's the Gila River down there. You see it on the right side of the corner, of the screen. And in the distance is the Gila Wilderness. And back here, just around the corner here is, to the right, is the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument, which was really neat to see. I'd say this area is in the top 10 of places that I've been in the US so far. Top 10, maybe top 5. I don't know, maybe top 3. Because you don't have a lot of people. You actually barely have any people, so you have it all to yourself. Anyway. And let me tell you, wow, you can come here and really unwind. And the smell of the trees here, it's like medicine. It's medicine. The smell of the trees is medicine. Voila. And they have those little bridges down there to cross the Gila River, so there's multiple ones where you do it. But wow, this was a spectacular place to come to. 2 hours drive, which the drive was amazing, and then you get here, it's even more fantastic. So wow. Man, look at this. Mogollon people. Wow. Wow, amazing. Thousands of years here. Thousands. Wow. This structure is over 1,000 years. The Mogollon people. Mogollon. Wow. Okay. Welcome to New Mexico, y'all. And the smell of the trees here, wow. The smell of the creek, the smell of the trees is very strong. Anyway, can you believe people lived here for, I don't know how long? Wow. New Mexico. All right, guys, we finally made it back to the visitor center. And in the parking lot, there's this beautiful Geronimo Memorial. And I didn't know it, but Geronimo was born at the headwaters of the Gila River. So he was born around this area. So basically, Geronimo and other Apache leaders used to roam this area where we're visiting and walking today. That's pretty neat. Now the Gila River has multiple forks. The bigger one, or one of the biggest ones, is called the Middle Fork, and it has a trail that you can take, and it leads you to hot springs. And I am suspecting that Geronimo probably walked along that creek and probably bathed in those hot springs. So I think this is definitely something we want to do. So let's go check it out. Okay, this looks like a bamboo, but it's not a bamboo. I don't know what it is, but it smells very good. This one right here. I don't know what kind of plant this is, but anyway. Okay, so we're going to the hot springs here in the Gila Wilderness, Gila Cliffs. So you got to cross the river. And I see even, I don't know if it's a toad or a fish, but you're supposed to cross it. Anyway, this is prime wilderness experience, people. Yep. This is the real deal. And that's why we work year-round. Work very hard. So that we can have moments like these. And this is like being in a movie. I mean, you could make a movie here. The Gila River. So this is the Gila River. I think it was named that way by the Spanish, but I'm not sure. The water is a little bit, it's cool. It's not cold. Cool. So this water is a mix between hot water from the spring and cold water from the creek or the river. So let's go ahead and cross and get our shoes all wet.
Anyway, so we're gonna get to the springs in a few minutes and I'll show you. And apparently there's one there that's like 150-degree water, very hot. So it's different levels of heat, and then the water comes in and then mixes. But it feels really good here. You could actually bathe in here, you know, with the cliffs above. So that's pretty neat. It reminds me a little bit of Big Bend. Okay, so we are here in the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument, and we are on the, I guess, a tributary of the Gila River, or it is the Gila River, I don't know. But up here they call it the hot springs because, well, they have hot springs, and people put these pools around, and there's a huge water, temperature difference between the pool and the river. So those are springs where the rocks are.
And where this rock is, it's hot water that's coming up. It's really hot. It's burning. And this place is absolutely spectacular, if I tell you the truth. I mean, look at all the colors. Brown, cream, gray, all kinds of colors.
So that's what it is. And you have a bunch of these pools. And I just stepped in the water, man. This water is hot as compared to the river water, which is cool. So this is, you can get a hot bath in here. Oh man, yeah, I can feel it. I'm stepping in it. It's hot. So they got a bunch of pools like these. These are the hot springs. Now there's a spring up there behind those trees that's 150 degrees. That one is super hot, but even this one is hot. This is like water. This is perfect temperature. You get a shower with, maybe a little too warm. You know, where it mixes over there, it's actually really good for this time of the year to get a shower or to get a bath or a dip. Yep. This is New Mexico, y'all. The New Mexico you didn't know existed. Okay, so I found the two sources. The water that's coming out here is boiling.
It comes out boiling or very hot, and then they split it into these pools that are surrounded with these really well-made stones and rocks over here.
And the beauty with Gila Wilderness is that you have all these places to yourself.
So you have places like this all to yourself. You rarely see any people. I haven't seen any. I left them at the visitor center about 3/4 of a mile downstream. I'm the only one here. A place like this all to yourself. You can swim here, no problem. But the first pools where the water comes from are a little too hot.
Very hot water. You gotta go down a little bit the river where the water is a good temperature for bathing. But yeah. Well, welcome to New Mexico, y'all. New Mexico. Nuevo Mexico. Gila. It's where it's at.
The birthplace of Geronimo. Yep. All right, guys, just a little south of the Gila Cliff Dwellings, we have the Apache Memorial here. The first thing you see here in the sign is how big Apache territory was. I mean, it covered western New Mexico, eastern Arizona, and northern Mexico. So it's a massive, I think it was like 100,000 square miles or more. And it also includes West Texas. The second board they have here has to do with Apache culture, and you can see some of their traditions they have in the picture, very informative signs. Third one lists the legendary Apache leaders. So on the top right you have Geronimo and two of his warriors. Now the top left we have Mangas Coloradas, Victorio, Lozan, and Datiste, who were both female warriors. We have Loco, Nana, Cochise, and Naiche, the bottom right. So this is a very good memorial where you can come in and pay your respects to some of these legendary Apache leaders. So it's a really neat stop to make if you're in the area. And the Apache Wars went on for a long time. Some historians estimate they went on from 1849 to 1924, so that's 75 years. So we're talking about a war that spans the life of 3 generations. And I watched a very good movie that has to do with the life of Geronimo. And I think it had Wes Sturdy on it. And now that was a really good movie. And I can clearly remember the last scene of the movie where the train takes the Apache warriors to Florida. So that's a really good movie. If you get a chance to watch it, highly recommend it. Now, after many years of imprisonment in Florida, Geronimo was not allowed to return to his homeland ever again, but he was sent to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where he died, and there's a big Apache cemetery there that I've seen in one of my travels. So hopefully we'll make that episode and publish it at some point in the future. And guys, it is very overwhelming to be looking at these faces. All right, guys. It was kind of hard getting back on the road after that previous stop, but here we are now. We made it to Pinōs Altos, and this is an old mining town. It was a gold mine initially. Initially, it was called Birchville, but after the Civil War, the name changed to Pinōs Altos, which basically means tall pines because there were tall pines in the area. Very neat buildings in here. You have the old Opera House, you have the old Buckhorn Saloon, you have the old museum, and multiple other beautiful old structures. So if you're into old mining towns, this is definitely one you want to check out, and it's not really far from Silver City. And it's my understanding that a lot of the gold that was used in the Hearst Castle in California was actually mined here in Pinōs Altos and some in Silver City. Also, one really famous character that came through here is Roy Bean. So he ran a store here. Then I think after the Apache attacks, he ended up going to Texas, I guess. But that's where he becomes a judge. So law west of the Pecos. So that's going to be covered in a future episode because I've already been there in West Texas in Langtree. And I have some footage from that. So that'll be in a future episode. Guys, we finally made it to the Catwalk National Recreation Area. This is a spectacular place. It's a canyon, and you can walk on this metal bridge that goes all the way through the canyon. You have water rushing under. You see it here, and it goes on. Look at the top. This is spectacular. Now, why is it called the Catwalk? Well, back in the day, they had pipes, very thick pipes that ran water all the way down to the silver mines. So they had a lot of mines downstream. And the work in the mines requires a lot of water. So they ran it for about 3 miles just so they could run the mines. And while they were setting up the pipes, they had to use wooden logs, wooden planks, so they could work on the pipes. So if you fall, you die. So to be one of those that do the pipes, you had to have the balance of or equilibrium of a cat. So you have to walk like a cat. So the name Catwalk stuck, and this place is called Catwalk. Now, obviously, nowadays we have a metal bridge, not planks, but this whole area is called the Catwalk National Recreation Area. So right now, I'm doing the catwalk. And I believe there is a song that's called Doing the Catwalk, or maybe a type of dance or something like that. Now, one thing that you notice here in this area is that the rock is pink. Now, here we don't see it as much, but the entrance of the recreation area, it's coral pink, kind of like what we see down there, because of the minerals that are in the rock. So, let me tell you, you can see all kinds of colors. But this place is really spectacular, if you ask me. It's a little bit hot when you go out of the canyon, but once you're down here, there's a breeze, and you feel really good. It's shaded, and you have water rushing under. So this is a really neat place. Well, I'm doing the catwalk, guys. And this is what I call doing the catwalk. This is New Mexico, guys. Let me tell you. New Mexico does not cease to amaze me. And look at the water below. Look, people are swimming down there. And if you go up there in the sun, it's going to be hot. But the heat here is kind of dry. It's kind of like what it is in the southeast where it's humid. Here, even if it reaches 110, I think you're okay. Well, this is the catwalk. Yep. Well, guys, a famous French singer named Edith sang a song called Life in Pink. Well, she must have been here. So when the sun sets here, the rock looks pink, and it's already starting to look very pink. So y'all tell Edith, we know where you get your inspiration from. Wow, look at this. Yep. Alright, let's see. Wow. Alright, let's see some pink from up here. Yep, look at that. Look at that pink. So when the light comes from a certain angle, it looks completely pink. This is beautiful. Catwalk National Recreation Area, New Mexico.
Well, guys, this is quite the place, if you ask me. Quite the place. Now the only thing is, you don't want to make any mistakes stepping down. Wow, this is wild. And then look at the pink wall. The canyon wall is just pink. Wow.
Wow. The more I walk through the canyon, the more spectacular it gets. So they got stairs up there. Wow. Alright, let's get our feet wet. Oh, cold water. So they got steps that go up there. Wow. All this in pink colored rock. The rock is pink. Beautiful. Alright, I think I make sure I don't fall, because that could end my trip. The thing with these hiking trips, if you make a bad step, your trip is over. Or at least the hiking aspect of it. Now look at this pink rock. Wow. And it's got some lichen on it, because the air here is very pure. So you got a lot of ranches, so you don't have a lot of pollution. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Wow. Okay, let's try these steps. Oh no, we can't. They're closed. They got washed out, so we can't go up. Oh well. I think that's about right. It's a good stopping point. Let's find a campsite. Yep. This is the kind of free campsite you can get in New Mexico and Arizona. You wake up, you see rabbits, elk, deer, and you get the whole place to yourself, surrounded with mountains. Now that's what I call boondocking heaven. All right, guys, what an adventure it's been today. To be walking in the footsteps of Geronimo, Victorio, Cochise, Mangas Coloradas, to be going through the mining towns, to be doing the catwalk, and to end up in this spectacular campsite in Gila National Forest. So it's been quite an adventure. I'm very tired, but wait, is that an elk? Guys, I think I see an elk.
There's another elk. See her? Yep. New Mexico.
True land of enchantment. The real American West. Yep,